So today we will cover everything about sheets and organizing your project, everything related to how we are going to finally put our projects into sheets. Okay, and I'm going to use the data set that we have. And I'm going, okay, great. So putting your views in sheets is one of the easiest part in Revit. So if you've done your work properly, if you've made your floor plans properly, if you made your elevations, your sections, if you've done the work that is required to be done, and you've created your project properly, creating your sheets is a ball game. So what we are going to do is we will go to sheets. Now, right now, what happens is that I have a few sheets that are already made and there is a naming system to it. So all my floor plans are 1000 series, or my elevations are 2000 series. My sections are 3000 series. Then there is a fire exit plan. There is a staircase detail, there are schedules, there are legends. So what you will do is, if I open a new project, and I'm going to open an architectural template Imperial. You will see that just in the project browser, you will see sheets over here. Now, if I go back to my original project, you will see that there is a expandable menu over here. Whereas if you see here, there is no menu because there are no sheets in there. So what we do is, to create a new sheet, we will right click on sheets. We will click on new sheet. It will ask us the template. So now we can have different sheet types in there, different sheet sizes in there. So we have our own sheet type. So let's say I'm going for an A1 size sheet. I have different and then, so this is the sheet that we have. Now there are a few things I would want to show you. So you can put your company logo, you can put the your website, all your consultants' addresses. If I double click on this sheet, we can go to the family and I can show you. And now again, the parametric part of the sheet is that how automatically you can fill in the information. So you have a client name, project name, sheet name. All of these things are not just plain text, but these are the labels in Revit. I'm going to close this. The next thing that we are going to do is, see, now you will see, I created new sheets. I didn't even fill in the information and it's automatically taking information in here. And how is it taking information? It's taking information from here. Okay. Now let's say I want to rename my sheet and I want this sheet to be my elevation. So my elevation series is 2000. So right now I have till 2004. If I'm just going to change the name and we'll have an error. Just see. See, it says the sheet number is already in use. So please enter a unique sheet number. So what I will do is I'm going to put 2005. Apply. Now, there are a lot of plugins and a lot of options available on open source market that you can download, which if you create sheets on an Excel, it will create sheets on your, and you import that Excel, it will create your sheets automatically. So in the bigger projects, if you ever work on a Revit on a very big project in which you have, like I worked on projects that had like 500 sheets or even 900 sheets. And what, like it sometimes becomes somebody's job only to create the sheets, because these are floor plans, then these are different parts of each floor plan, there are different blow ups, different scales. So this is a simple project, but let's say I had to create a blow up plan for first floor, or I had to create a fire exit plan. So if I just open one of these sheets here, so there is this is a staircase detail, but anyway, so there is a this is a fire exit staircase. So we can create, there are some empty sheets in there. So we can create different sheets. It is just that every time we create a sheet and we put a plan that is already there, it will give us an error. So let's say right now, I have a first floor plan already in there. And then I have an east elevation also already placed in my, in a sheet. Now what I want to do is I created a new 2005 unnamed. I'm going to name it as east elevation, but detail. Okay. Now, if I go, okay, now how do I place my sheet, my view into this? I open my sheet, I put it on full view. Now I will go to my project browser. I will go into my east elevation and I'm going to just drag and drop. Now this is giving me the error. It is saying the view is already placed. To place a similar view on sheet, you can use duplicate view. So it will not place the same view on two sheets. It will only place one view on one sheet at one time. So if you want duplicate views, if I want that in one sheet I have east and then I want another version of east, I will have to create a new view. So what I will do is I will go here and I will duplicate the view with detailing. Okay, if I had created duplicate view and I would not have done detailing, there will be some, if I had, okay, what, let's do this. East elevation. Now let's say I'm creating a call out in here. So let's go to view. I'm going to create a call out in here. Okay, and I'm also going to do some texting in here. So let's say I'm going to write OTS. Now see this. I did everything on this, and now my east elevation does not have that. I'm going to delete this view right now because I'm going to show you something. Now, if I duplicate view with detailing, it will have all the text, but it will never have the callouts. However, if I duplicate view and I just duplicate it, none of my text, my dimensions, anything will show on that. Now, okay, now I have two east ones and I'm just going to rename this to something East test. Now, because they are two different views, they have two different names. Now I can go back to my east elevation. There is, yeah, yeah. So I'm going to go back to my sheet, which is 2005. Yeah. Now I can place, let's say I want to place this east test over there. I just drag and drop. And this is how my view is placed. Now, let's say I want to have a bigger scale for this. So what I will do is I'll click on that viewport and I will go to a bigger scale and apply. So now I can have a bigger view of that viewport. Also, what it will do is it will give me the name here. This is called my title. So this is called my view title. So this will give me the name. It will give me the scale. We can change this. Whatever information we want to show, we can change this. There are different options available in there. We will get to that when we come to that, but we can change this. Also, let's say I want to work more on this. I can actually, so if you go back to AutoCAD, you would remember that there were layouts and there were models, right? So what we would do is that we would put our models, we will create our sheets on layout, and then we will bring our models with model view or sheet view. We could do that, right? So similar concept, but much more improved. So what we can do is we can go in our sheet, and let's say you wanted to make some changes. You don't have to go in the view itself, but you can just be on the sheet, double click, and you will activate that view. Now you can do as much detailing. Let's say I wanted to dimension this, or I wanted to do some other, I wanted to tag something. So let's say I want to tag this wall. Oh, okay. Let's tag this. Okay, let's tag this wall. So let's say in my floor plan or in my section, I want to tag something. So this comes with everything, be it your elevations, sections, floor plans, site plan, anything that you create, your detail plans, you can actually, once you're done, you can deactivate this. The good thing is, remember when we did our model views and when we did in AutoCAD, when we did our layouts and sheets, if you zoom in and like you set a certain, what do I call it? A certain scale, if you would zoom in or out, it would change the scale. This will not change the scale. You can change the scale only from if you click on the view and you actually want to change the scale. Let's say one of these, I want to, I'm going to make it 1:100, apply. And then I want to place a call out. Remember we had a call out, and I want to place that call out in here. Okay, where is there? There should be details in here. So yeah, so section 5, there is one call out. Okay, this one. So this call out, if I want to place a call out, I can do, oh, wait, I have to deactivate. Now I will go and I can place the call out right here. So, sometimes you would want to show that, okay, this is this part of the building that I want to detail out. You can actually go into the call out and you can, this is the one. So you can actually, if you want, so remember last time we talked about that you can actually do all the detailing. You don't have to model it. So you can do all that you have to do and it will reflect on your sheets. Everybody okay till here? Any questions?
What happens when you duplicate it as a dependent? There was another option, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. I was wondering somebody will ask it, or I'll just get away with it. So let's go to this floor plan, this view. Now, okay, did you guys realize as soon as I put this call out, this took the number. So this is the detail number and this is the sheet where it is. And this is a very typical way how we detail out sheets in most part of the world. Let's do a dependent. I'm going to duplicate view, duplicate as a dependent. Okay, now two things. One, it has everything that, so your dependent has everything. Now let's make a few changes in dependent and see what happens in the main view. And then we'll make some changes in the main view and we'll see what happens in the dependent. Okay. So let me dimension. Let me dimension, make a few dimensions in here. Okay, so there are two dimensions that we did. I also want to do a few tags. Okay, we will also, what I'll do is, okay, let me do this. Now let's see what happens to my main parent view. So everything that you did, it comes on the dependent, everything that you did on the dependent view, it showcases on your main view. Now let's do make some additions on our main floor. So I'm going to add some text. I'm going to say concrete block. Okay. And I'm going to also do some tags in here. Okay. Now let's see our dependent view, what happens there. So you see the relation? You see the relation? Any more questions? Okay, great. So basically what happens is my dependent will make an extra view that has everything that the parent view also has. So next will be, we talked about placing our, similarly, we can place our schedules, we can place our legends, we can place anything that we want. So if we create a sheet, see how we have created a door schedule and we've placed here, we've actually created a door legend and a door schedule and we've placed it here. It's the same thing. You just have to create something first. We created a door legend, we created a door schedule, we can put it on the same sheet, and there are like anything that you do, you can place it on a sheet. One more thing I'm going to show you right here. Let's go to one of the floor, now I'm going to go, it is in the manage tab, starting view, should be in the viewer. Where did it go? Tab views, tab. Did we discuss this, that we can see all the views, whatever is open? We discussed this, right?
Yeah, with WT.
Yes. I want to show you the starting view. Just give me 1 second. I think it's in the, either it's in the manage or it's in the view tab. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, here. So in the manage tab under manage project, what you can do is that every time you open up a project, it starts with a certain view. So mostly the most professional way to do this is if you go to your view tab, and I'm going to create a drafting view. I'm going to name it as welcome screen. Okay. And I'm going to just add some text in here. And I'm going to say, I'm going to make it, okay, training data set. And enter. Close. Where did that go now? Okay, again, I don't know, it went somewhere. Welcome screen. Text. I want to make a bigger size text. In fact, even bigger than that. So I'm going to edit type. Let's make it 12 mm. Training data set. Okay, and I'm going to write my name. Okay. Now, if every time, or you can do anything, name of your project, scale, anything that you want to do, you can put in there. Now, if I go to my manage tab and where's manage project? Yeah, manage project, and I go to starting view. Now I can actually select the view that I always want to see. And mostly what we do is we do a welcome screen. So if now I close this project, if I save the changes, okay, let's do it. Now, if I want to open this project again, every time I will open the project, I will see that screen. Now, how is that screen important is that anything that is important and it is related to the project, you can put in this screen. So let's say any document that you want to see, anything that's important you want to see, you can just place it here. And then if there is, like, let's say a nice rendering, a nice 3D view that you want to place, that every time somebody comes into the project, they can see a 3D view. So you can also place a 3D view in here. You can place a picture of rendering in there. And then that also you can put it in a sheet because it's a drafting view. Now, if I make this, if I change the scale of this drafting view from 1:12 to 1:1000, see this. And if I make it to 1:1 and apply, so you can make all these changes in here. Next thing that we would want to move to is working with placeholder sheets. So now if you see here, these are all the, when you start with the project, every time you will not have everything set up. But the first thing that you should do is once you start working, you should set up the sheets. And what you should do is that create all the sheets for your project. And then as you keep on creating, as you keep on creating new views, you can keep on placing your views on these sheets. So you should always set up your sheet list first. Now, okay, there's also a sheet list in here. So this is the same way how we will create, I'm going to, how you will create a schedule. So basically you will do is you'll create a new schedule and you would go to sheets. Okay, that's views. Oh, because we've already made it, so it's not showing us. Okay, new sheet list. Now I can have different sheets. I have some, let's say if I have a project information, I can select. Now it says that it should at least contain one of the fields. So in my project information, let's say project status and project name, organization description. Now I have a sheet list that is giving me all this information, right? And then let's create another sheet list. And I want to do a sheet, and I'm going to select the current revision and issued by. So this is all, these are all the parameters that are attached to just to the sheet: issue date and sheet number and drawn by. Now I'm going to put a sheet number on the top, issue date and current revision issued by and drawn by, and I press OK. So it is another schedule that we created, and then we can create a sheet list out of this. So these are various parameters that are attached to a sheet that we can use. Now, and then you can always, change the authors of this. You can change who created this. So that is the information that we will put. Now, if you'll ask me where that information is, if I go to manage, and there is project information in here. It's a smaller screen. So we have project. Did we discuss this? The project information tab? We did it. So basically, this will be in every Revit project that you will have some information. You can add your project number, your name, all the parameters are defined in here. And if you add that information, then your sheets, your wherever you're putting your sheets and you're putting all this information, this will come in here. So today is, so this sheet was created on 13th November 2019. So these sheets are created then. This is created on 5th May, and this is created. So all these views, when these sheets were created, when these views were created, if there was any revision to any sheet, it will give me all of that. Okay. So the next thing that we would want to do is we have the sheets. Now we got our project made. We put our project on sheets. We put our views on sheets. Now I want to print these sheets. So what we do is, first of all, never ever in Revit print directly from Revit. Because Revit has this weird way in which it does not give complete information to the printer. So the best way to print out of Revit is to go to print. Okay, and always print a PDF. Now, when I'm saying PDF, if you do not have these options on your system, I will tell you how to go get those options. First of all, like right now I have it, so we'll go through that. I will go to Microsoft Print to PDF. Now there are two options in here: combine multiple views or sheets into single file, or create separate files. So if I select this, whatever views or sheets I will select, they will become one PDF with different pages. If I select this, then it will create different PDFs for each view or sheet that I want to print. The next option is, where do you want to place it? So right now, this is the location, but you can go to the browse and you can select in your, hard drive, wherever you want to save, you can go in your computer and you can select the option of saving it. Next thing is, you would want to select. So right now it is showing me all the sheets and all the views. So if I uncheck the views, I will only be able to see the sheets. Now, if I want to create a set, I can create a set over here. Let's say this is my initial progress set, a set that I'm, let's say for your thesis. So you want to create a PDF, you want to show it to your thesis guide, and you want that whenever I create a set that I just select that set name and it goes like itself. So what I will do is I will select the sheets I want to. So let's say right now, I just want all the floor plans. So all the floor plans I selected, save as, and I would say floor plans. So what it did is it created a set of floor plans. So now every time I select this, it will select these sheets by itself. You don't have to do it again and again. Again, let me just check none. And now I want to do all the elevations. So I can select this, create this as elevation. And see, this is sounding very simple, and it might not sound very useful right now, but when you're working on a bigger project, what happens is that not every time you would want to print out everything. Sometimes you just want to work on floor plans, or you just want to print out floor plans. And these are just, I think, what, 10 or 15 sheets here that we can easily select. But let's say you had 200 sheets and you are going to a consultant and you're discussing just your floor plans. You don't want to go into each and every plan and discuss and then you make a sheet set for yourself and then you can do it. Now, if I say I don't want sheets, but I want to print out certain views, then you can go check the views and you can select the views. So let's say I just want to do a reflected ceiling plan without the sheets. So now I want to, okay, save as. So RCP views only. So I created this. Now, let's say I want to select. Now I will do is, just for the sake of it, I will select floor plans. So it has already selected this. I will press OK. So it is saying you have chosen 6 sheets or views to as separate. And now it's asking me as separate files. I say no, I want it to be combined, or if I want it to be separate. So it's entirely your discretion what you're going to do. And you can, again, you can go into the setup and you can change what size of your sheet is, what size you want to print it to. But right now we are all only focusing on PDFs. So let's do the PDFs. You can also see if you just want to do a black and white, or you want to do color, do you want to raster processing, or these are more like your now image kind of vocabulary. Where do you want your paper to be placed? So these are like an advanced options and you can study them as you go. Right now, I selected the set. I would go OK. And now this is giving me an option to save it. So right now I'm just saving it on desktop. Test training. Save. Now it will take some time and it will save the PDFs. Now you can, I'm going to open this. Now you can see that I have printed the floor plans. So because second floor, third floor did not have anything on it, so it did not print. But you can print, I mean, if it had views, it would print. Okay, and it has all the information that we require. Similarly, but now let's do one more print here. Let's go to print and select. And now I want to do RCP views only. Press OK. Press OK. And RCP. So printing does take time. I always recommend everybody to do small batches of printing. especially if it's a complicated project. Otherwise, sometimes it can crash your computer also, depending on what kind of computer you're doing. So I don't have very nice reflected ceiling plans in here. So you might not see something awesome, but you see that, oh, so see it's selected. I think I did select some elevations also in here. So that's why it's giving me the option of elevation. So you have to quickly check what it is giving. So right now this is without, so this is just printing the floor, the views, and then these are some sheets that got added to it. And then this, you can take it to whatever physical plotter or printer you want. But if you directly print it, it gives you an error a lot of times. So this is a foolproof method. Always print to PDF first and then print it to your, send it to your printer. Next thing is exporting our Revit views into different formats. But the most important or most asked for is the AutoCAD one. So again, you go to File, you go to Export, and then these are a few CAD formats. Now, these are all grayed out. And can anybody tell me why can I not select? I mean, I'm trying to select and I cannot, and this is all grayed out. And why is it grayed out here? Any guesses? No guesses? Wild guess. I'm not judging. Yes, Anmol. Can somebody write on the chat box? Okay, so there are some functions in Revit that you cannot access from the sheet. So if you want to export, then you will have to go to a floor plan and then export. Now, if I go to export, and if I now select CAD format, so now this has DWG, DXF, DGN is MicroStation, ACIS is SolidWorks. These are different file formats that you can do. Right now, let's do DWG. If I go to DWG, which is the AutoCAD file format that I want, now I can here again select, because the sets that I made, so I can actually go and select all the floor plans I want to export. Also, if I go to modify, if you look clearly here, you selected all the floor plans. Now what you can also do is, if you select your modify export setup, now here it's telling you that, of course, AutoCAD has layers and colors, which Revit does not have layers. So it's telling you that it is going to make these layers on your project. So let's say all your walls, all your furniture, this will be the layer. But let's say you don't want your furniture to go on iPhone layer, like it is giving a name of its own. You want it to just say furniture. All your walls are going on the layer A wall, which is a typical, and then these are different. So interior walls will go in I wall, exterior walls will go in A wall, foundation walls will go in S wall. If there are any retaining walls, they will go on that. Now I want that all my walls should just go walls, and then I will have to copy all of this in here. Next thing that I would want to do is, it is giving you a color ID, that what color ID this will be. Now, if I go to colors, sorry, if I go here and I can actually, I mean, each of this color in your RBG color format, it points to a specific color. So some of you who are doing any kind of renderings or any graphic stuff, you would know that each of these colors actually mean a certain color in the RBG format. So like, let's say, I don't know, maybe number 2 might be orange or 113 might be red. So that you will have to go and check what level it is. What are level modifiers? So basically you can add that your telephone devices would be named as this. I mean, this is a little more advanced, and we will not go in very much detail because this is itself, it's a complete lesson in itself. But what right now you need to know is that you can rename your layers from here and then you can export it. Now, sometimes when you're working on bigger projects, a company has its own export standard, and it will come in the form of a TXT file. Now, similarly, you just like layers, you can choose the lines, you can choose the patterns, you can choose text and font, you can choose the colors. So this is index colors, 255 colors. You can go to RGB colors. Why was I saying RBG? Then what kind of export you want? Do you want your solids? So let's say you created a 3D view. So do you want it to be like real solids or you want it to be polymesh solids? What coordinate system or what units do you want to export it in? And if there is any other export setting, what AutoCAD format do you want it to export? 2018, 13, 10, whatever format you want to export it into. So these are all the options that you can choose. And then just, I'm going to do next. And I'm going to now, what it's going to do is export views on sheets and links as external references. So how many of you guys do not know about XREFs in AutoCAD? Do you guys know what XREFs are? Just to raise hands, who doesn't know what XREF is? Okay, great. Everybody knows what an XREF is. So basically what happens is if you had any a Revit model attached to it, linked to it, or an AutoCAD file linked to it, it will export as a XREF. Again, then you can, it will give you certain naming convention, because each in Revit we have model views, but in AutoCAD each file needs to have a certain name, and it will export each view as a separate AutoCAD file. It will not combine it in one AutoCAD file. So for now, let's say I'm going 2018. I can select it from here also. I want a short. So see, if you select short, it's giving you these name of the floor plans will be like this. If I press, now it's also giving me the location I want to go. Let's do desktop for now. I will delete it later. So now you see it will give me so now it's printing all these views. Okay, let's go. It did create some. Now I want to share my other screen with you and want to show exactly what it made. If I go to, I'm going to stop sharing here and then share again. I'm sharing my other desktop. Now, if you see, it made all these sheets. So A101, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1. So it has made all these files, right? And also it has exported, like my company logo was a JPEG file. So it exports everything. Now let's open one of this. This looks like something interesting. I'm going to open this in AutoCAD. Now remember, we exported it in the 2018 format. So I can open it in AutoCAD 2020. Had I exported it in, right now the export option for 2020 is not available. But if I had AutoCAD 2017 and I exported it in 2018, then I will not be able to open it. So you have to be very careful the format it's exporting it into. So let's open this and see what's happening. Okay. So it automatically exported your file now, and it made your layout, like your sheet in your layout. And if I go to model, so it has exported your floor plan into your AutoCAD model view. And then in your layout one, it has created your sheet. And even layout 2, it just has the model. Okay, so this is how you will export your, now say for example, now you see that this, now one more thing, if you select this, you will see this is come up. Now this has become an XREF. And if I remove the clipping off. So this is an XREF basically. So if you have to edit it, you will have to actually open the XREF. And now you can edit this. Okay. Everybody good with this? Any questions still here?
No.
Great.
Actually, I had a question. While printing it, you didn't have an option of preview, right?
We have an option. I just didn't use it. So, okay, yeah. So because we selected the views or sheets, so Revit is expecting that you know how it looks. But if you say current view or visible portion of current view, and then you can preview it. Okay. So this is the assumption that Revit has made. Print. That if I select this option, my preview goes away. But if I say current window, then I have my preview. Because what we are doing is we are telling Revit that what we know what we want to print. If I am zooming in here and now I go to print and I want to say current window. So, okay, close. Visible portion of the window. Preview. So now this is just printing that particular portion. But when I'm telling Revit that I know what views or sheets I want to print, it will print the entire view or the sheet, because it's assuming that we've used the right title block and we know what we are printing. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, great. So I think this is it. Yeah, we did AutoCAD, we did placeholders, we did sheet, and we did PDFs. There are some other export formats that we can, I can show you quickly. There is an IFC file. This IFC file, I think we also discussed earlier that this is the file that is compatible with a lot of other projects. ODBC is open database format. So like, remember we talked about how we input information, and this information is then used by other consultants, sometimes facility managers, to create their database and do other studies and stuff. So it basically exports into that. Now we also export the reports. We have export setups that we can do. If you had a 3D view or an animation, you could export a walkthrough or an image. If you had done a solar study on it, which is a different training altogether, you could actually export a solar study on it. If I go to one of my schedules, door schedule, and I want to export this into an Excel sheet, then I can go and report, and now I can actually export the schedule. So it is going to export this right now here. I just press OK. Now if I open Excel, I can actually I'm actually opening up the Excel, and what I'm going to do is open, and I'm going to go to desktop. All files. So it has a TXT file in here. Yeah, so it has a door schedule file. If I open this, you can actually open that whole door schedule in an Excel. So this comes handy when you're creating specifications, when you have to give it to a client, when you have to give it to a contractor, you don't want to, or you want to make some changes in this. The downside of this is that you can make all these changes, but then you cannot import it back into Revit. If you want to import it back into Revit, then there are other plugins that you have to use. Okay, so this is one more export that you can do. Another thing that we can export is libraries. So let's say you, right now, let me go to one of the floor plans. And if I go to export, save as library. Now what it will do is, it will actually extract all the families and save all the families in a file. So if I go, let's say you had a project and you wanted all the families on that from that project and you wanted to save it into another project. So you can save the library, go to family, and then you can, I'm not go, actually, you know what, let me, all the families. So now it has all the options of the families that we have, and you can actually extract whatever families you want. Or if you just press save, then, okay, let's do this. Let's create a folder on the desktop. Test. So now it's taking some time. It is going to save all the families. Now you see it started from 0%. It'll keep on exporting and it'll keep on doing all of that. If I can show you from the desktop that file, you see it is, you see it is saving all these families, all the tags, all everything that's in there, you can save it.